Somebody here tell me an Antonio story real quick. Get the hell out of my way. We're on? All right, well, Doug and Antonio, we just kind of started talking, and I told them hit the cameras, and we started kind of getting into Shorty stories. And, it's been a lot of fun. These guys, I thought I was the guy who spent a lot of time because, we started the company together. Well, right. Now you grew up, you came to Sierra at what, 17?
19, actually.
And Shorty was?
He was 16.
Shorty was younger than you?
Yes.
No, Shorty's not younger than you.
Oh, no, but he was 16 when he started.
Oh, okay. I thought, whoa. He wasn't younger than you. Wait a minute. Right. Oh, hold on here. But, so we were talking about Shorty stories and from a lot of things. But, you, Antonio, you were the guy who spent the most time, with all the stuff when we first got started and the equipment coming. And then back.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were all telling stories. So tell us a story about Shorty.
Oh, my goodness.
A good one, a fun one. Just on fun. We're just fun.
There's so many, but I don't know. The funniest thing to me, it's always been, it always was, how he threw his hands up. When someone wasn't listening. What do I have to do? To listen. That's really, to me, it was always the funniest thing from Shorty.
He started moving the head. And
he started. And then you could see him when he'd walk out, he'd come out the door and you'd be in there, hey, Shorty. Yeah, you knew he was it. I was going to say, I wanted to say this till you guys got here, but so when we started the company, okay, back in the late 80s, I'd done machine installs with Antonio. We had quite a few adventures.
Yes.
So one day, I was telling Shorty, well, I'll go with you on this install. And Shorty kind of looked at me and in a nice way, he just kind of told me, we got this. You sell the machines, we'll figure out how to put them together. Translate that. Okay, nice, you tried, but get the hell out of my way because you're only slowing the thing down here. But, she did. But Shorty wouldn't, when you go out on the road, he would not go to dinner with the customer. And the reason he wouldn't was, to him, he was still that enlisted man would not go to dinner with the officer. And the customer and me were the officers, and nope, I'm just going to my hotel. So, that was, in some respect, he said, thanks for trying, but just sell the machines. We got better things to do.
Yeah.
Now, Doug, you were here with Shorty was here, right?
We didn't work together, but I saw him quite often.
Okay, now you were working over on the R&D side before you came over to the equipment side. Yeah. What kind of run-ins do you have?
He'd come barreling around the corner in that truck of his, like he owned the whole entire world.
Yeah, he did.
And he'd say, you're a tall drink of water. He'd look, he goes, man, you're a tall drink of water. I mean, and again, we didn't have much interaction because he was always in his own little world doing what he needed to do. And he didn't mince words.
No. Well, no, he told you there was no gray area there. But, so we're moving on. So let's talk about some other things. I mean, we spent a lot of time. I mean, I know Shorty for you, my friend Antonio, was a mentor, just unbelievable guy. But so, we talk about stories. So I always tell the story about Shorty and I dodging lightning bolts in Florence, Alabama. And then I remember you and me doing a machine install in Wabash, Indiana, minus 45 degrees.
Wow.
Okay, now
Yes.
So you thought you had the right gear. Remember you said you did the one in Albany? Well, I didn't have the right gear. So at one point during this install, like day 2, day 3 of it, Antonio comes up to me, grabs me and goes, you need to go by the fire. Because I didn't realize how cold I was and how Antonio grabs me. Puts me right. They took a dumpster, lit it on, put all this wood in there, lit it on fire, and they just goes. But you know what I was doing I remember what I was doing to get so cold. I was on the floor of the cab. Remember how connecting each wire 141. instead of before we got to the spark plugs.
Yes.
So,
Laying on the steel platform.
yeah, getting nice and cozy on that, you know? What's your favorite install story?
With that one, and because I remember there was 3 people working at that place.
Yeah.
The crane operator, John, and myself. Nobody from the place was outside. They were all inside. They were all indoors. But we could look forward to getting back to California. So
Yeah, I know. Always the case is always getting back to California. You know?
I think that's the best feeling right there.
Yeah.
yes.
Now, you say you got some story, Ricardo, some honeymoon story you want to talk about?
I mentioned the honeymoon story earlier about me and Memo. This is probably one of my, I don't know, probably within the year or two. Me and Memo started traveling a lot, so I got to know him. I'm like, all right, he's a cool guy. So we started, on our weekends, days off, we would kind of see what was around the area and go, see what was going on. We've had good times, but this particular one, it's really funny because we were in Panama City, Florida. So what is there to do? Beach, of course, because they're known for that. So I go online and I find this swim with dolphins and go snorkeling, and I'm like, Memo, you down for that? He's like, sure, whatever. He's like, I don't know how to swim, but let's go.
Here, let's go swim with I don't know how to swim.
So we're on the little boat ride, and then we're going to the snorkeling area, and the water's gorgeous, and you can actually see some dolphin just, swimming around there. And so he the captain of the little boat, and it was the captain and me and Mamo and 2 other couples, which they were on their honeymoons. That's why it became our honeymoon. So we were about to get our gear. You see there was actually a helper from the captain, so he's all pulling out snorkeling gear. So then those 2 couples are all getting sunscreen and rubbing it on each other. And then me and Memo were like, well, I can't put sunscreen on myself. So I'm like, Memo, come on. He's like, oh no, like, Memo, I'm gonna burn my back. And I'm like, come on, man, you have to, like, they're gonna think we're on our honeymoon. I'm like, oh, I get it now. But I don't know, that was pretty funny.
Well, did he got cream on your back?
Yes, he did.
All right. That's what a trooper. Now, you did the install of the S5000 in the Bahamas.
Oh, the Bahamas. Oh,
Yeah, I saw the pictures. There's Memo after work, feet up, Corona in his hands.
Yeah, you're not supposed to see that picture.
Well, okay, what are you going to do? It's summertime. It doesn't get dark till 9. I mean,
that's one of the best experiences on this job. Because one of the things, of course, I was in the Caribbean, and there was an island like 1 mile wide for 2 miles long. So, and it's weird because you don't think about that much scrap is going to be in the island, and there was. So, and like I said, after work, we enjoyed the beach, few beers. Went to the restaurant, and I enjoy it a lot.
now where's the farthest you ever traveled for install? Did you ever go?
Wales or Brazil.
You did a Brazil install?
Yeah, not an install. I did a service call.
What was that like?
Oh, it was amazing.
Really? Where was it? Where was it?
In São Paulo. Well, I flew into São Paulo, but then we went to 10 different machines.
Oh, that was the
12 days.
Is that right?
Wow, yes.
Were you there with Jose or did
No,
or
not by myself.
Do you
Yeah.
speak Portuguese?
No. Portuñol.
Well, it is Portuguese sounds so much like Spanish or Italian. You think, oh, I got this, and then you're listening, you're going, I got none of this.
You try to figure out, but it's hard.
You did an install in Wales? This is what?
Yes, an old 380. That I don't know if Hydromex sold. I don't know who sold it. Anyway, I went and installed it in Wales. I forget the name of the town.
What was that like? Was it cold? Rainy?
No, I went in the summer. It was nice.
Still cold, rainy.
And then, yeah, a little bit, but not bad. And then I was there when they had their marathon. It started at the south end of town, at the pub, and it ended at the north pub. At the end, on the north end at the pub.
Was it a run, or how many pubs were in between?
No, they ran from one to the other, but then they walked back. They stopped at every pub.
All right. Hey, different strokes. Doug, how about you? What's the most unique install? Because you've been out on a couple, you know.
Just a couple. I think probably the one that we did at Itasca with the rats. The big, I mean.
The Chihuahuas, you mean?
They were, I mean, just gigantic. And it was no big deal to the customers, but they were everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were underneath the conveyors, underneath the machine, underneath the paper, underneath the cardboard. Every time you'd move something, they'd go scurrying. And so, yeah.
I don't think I do good with rats.
Yeah, no.
That's organic.
And that wasn't a rat. Like Ricardo said, they were small dogs. Yeah. And then an install with Poncho in Pennsylvania in 3 feet of snow. And at Krentzman's, you and Donnie.
Yeah.
So that was my first install. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. It was so cold my toes were freezing inside of my boots. So I had to go get different boots.
Yeah, it was amazing when we started how we absolutely had the wrong gear. You know, California gets 30 degrees here in Bakersfield. Ooh, it's cold. You know, 30 degrees out there, they're out in shorts. Hey.
Before I complain about the weather here in Bakersfield, when I start traveling, I say, wow, we're in heaven. Because even it's or too hot or too cold, wherever you go.
Now, you went down to Australia.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was a pretty good experience. I was afraid that once I get there, I was going to be upside down just because we're at the bottom. But nope, gravity works the same way down there. It was different for sure. But there were certain times where it kind of felt like in the city, you know, just like here. Because you think of Australia and you think of the outback and kangaroos But it's pretty cool because there's kangaroos out there just like in the golf course, just like we see raccoons or foxes. There's little joeys.
You play golf down there?
No.
They call them what?
Joeys.
Joeys.
Yeah, those are the baby kangaroos. And we ended up going to, the second time I went, because I've been there twice. The second time, I went to a zoo because the animals out there are a lot different than the ones we have here. It was just a pretty cool experience.
Was it a honeymoon?
No, not that one. Yeah, not that one.
You were missing Memo the whole time?
But the funny thing is, the first time I went, I was watching the Super Bowl on my birthday at Monday during lunchtime.
We have the same birthday.
We do.
February 3rd. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, 2 years ago, I was watching the Super Bowl on my phone during my lunch break while it was Sunday night here. And I thought that was kind of
You're
like...
a future boy.
Yeah.
You were a future boy.
I was. And then coming back, I left like on a Friday at 6 p.m. And I got home Friday at 6 p.m.
That's quick.
Yeah, gained.
You gained
Right, because I came back and and that was just kind of weird. I'm like, whoa, I just left like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, right. How long is that flight?
Total, probably about close to 20 hours.
It's no different than going to Europe.
Never been to Europe.
You haven't been?
No.
Who has? You've been to Europe?
Yes.
You've been to Italy. You've been to Idra. And none of you guys have been over to Idra?
No. I like to go. I've seen
John, we would like to go.
Well, I can't send you all at the same time. But, you know, maybe here this next year, you know, we're going to try to get the material handlers going, and we're going to need to get some training. So, maybe 2020, we can look forward to that.
All right.
Scariest place you've ever been to? On installs. I'm just going to go around. Just scariest place.
I would have to say South Pittsburgh, just because the rain out there, how bad it was falling. Me and Memo at C&D installed the 900, and from the get-go, it was pouring rain. And I mean, it's not like California rain that it just, rains for a couple hours and that's it. It was just like large drops of water, lightning, everything. And we worked for half the day, and Memo was drenched, and we were just just, trying to get through it. And the owner's like, you know what? Go home, dry off, come back tomorrow. We'll do it again tomorrow. Because it was just that bad that you couldn't even climb on the machine. You couldn't do anything because it was just raining so hard and just bad weather. So I think that has to be one of the more difficult jobs. And it was a 900 stationary, so it was a big boy.
That's a big job.
Yeah.
Scariest install place?
I think as far as places not that scary, it's all due to weather. Yeah, same like Angel. It was in Lynchburg, Virginia. It was pouring the whole time, and there was a storm coming through, and we were supposed to leave Friday, and Friday was supposed to hit. So we're just thinking, well, if we have to, we'll drive west and do that. But luckily, it cleared up, and we were able to get back home. But it was all due to weather, but not really anything scaring the place.
What about you, Memo?
Wow. I'm in a tornado in Alabama, and I was working, and I started seeing the clouds like purple pass by like really fast and really low, fast. I take a look, and they start forming the funnel, and I said, uh-oh. That's not good. So they start flying all kind of debris around on the jar. So I look at the building that was far away. So I say, what am I gonna do? So I went under the machine. There was an RV6000. So I went through in the middle of the chassis by the air tanks.
Yeah.
So more or less the 6,000, they weighed about, 90,000 maybe. So I said, I'm gonna take the machine, I'm gonna take it with me. I don't care, I'm gonna stay here. Well, yeah, that was really bad. And they died like 400 people at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really bad.
Woo. Well, for me, it was with you. We're coming back from Hartford City, Indiana, and it was rain. It was raining so hard, you could not see the road in front of you. So Antonio, well, what are you gonna do? He goes, well, let's pull over. So we pull over. And I'm just sitting there, and all I could think was just getting slammed by a car who couldn't see the road. Because, some of those roads in Indiana weren't just straight. They kind of had slight bends to them. And if the guy can't see and it goes off, and so I just remember sitting there just kind of going, I can't do this. I can't just sit here. I can't be a sitting duck. I'd rather be moving than a sitting duck. So there was a moment of panic for me on that. What about you?
Well, for me, the hardest thing was always going to the New York area and have to drive there.
Oh, you're right.
It was always the hardest thing. To have to go to New York or Newark and then drive around. Yep. Go some places. Then one time I had to go to Rockland.
Yeah.
I had to take the red eye. And then I landed like at 5 a.m. and then I had to drive to the job.
Right across the Tappan Sea Bridge. Yeah.
For me, I'm back to Australia, driving on the opposite side of the road, on the opposite side of the car. You really have to think about what you're doing, at least for the first couple days. I remember first I get a rental and I'm by myself that first trip, so I'm on my own. I set the GPS. Luckily my GPS was working, but just everything about it is just weird. It's just you're not used to it. When I want to turn the blinkers, my wipers went on, and so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna follow cars. Like I have to stick to a car behind them, tailgate them if I have to, because I'm still trying to figure out your left turns and your right turns. So it was just I was kind of freaked out a little bit, I was like, man, I really got to be careful what I'm doing, otherwise I can get into an accident. And so, yeah, driving in Australia the first time. Second time, it was smooth.
Right on. Punch.
You see, the car is crash close for the river, but the car is parking. And I see the lights, Reno. I see
Oh, you were with Caesar.
The light is moving. Why is this moving? But the car is going slow, very slow. But the car is, I don't know, I see only crash. Oh, man.
Well, it's not funny, man. Imagine poor guy.
Yeah, the light is moving. You see, wow. Yeah, but the star and the physios, como the casinos.
The casino.
Yeah, the lights is over the top, but the lights moving. You see, wow. And I listen. Oh man.
Hold it.
You're
I see
upside
the
down?
river, yeah, the rock, everything.
Oh.
Pero no sé cómo salí por atrás.
But he came out the back.
Yeah.
In the glass.
Back
in the
window?
Yeah, everything is crushed.
Oh, you was inside the car.
Yeah.
In the
That
back,
was,
yeah.
oh, yeah. I remember when that crash happened.
But the car is parking close for the river.
Oh, okay.
The ground is. Ah, man. Adios, Chavez.
Adios, Chavez.
It's not funny, but you're here to tell the story.
I see Cesar and Mario. He's putting that over, the seat. You see, what happened? I see over the top of the car, it's closed. And he says, hey, guys. I'm sorry. I go back.
Wow.
And I see close for the water. I don't know. Push the window, or the window is broken. Go fast. Are you okay, guys? Nobody listen.
Nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. Doug, not many, but
I had to fly to Bowling Green, Kentucky to get one of our employees who slipped on some ice. And on the plane, we were in a lightning storm, and we probably dropped 20 feet, which was just very, very scary to have your plane just drop 20 feet. And then when we landed, it was a red eye. When we landed, it was raining so hard, I didn't know if I was going east or west. I mean, it was raining so hard you could not see in front of you. And so you just pull over, and it would come in waves, and then it would stop, and then you take off again, and then all of a sudden, it hit again, same kind of thing.
yeah. It's funny. Your story, Ponch, yeah, that was bad. But, ours, a lot of it's weather related, because we just don't get that here.
Right. Yeah.
And there's still so much to be had, of what we do. Well, all right. Well, listen, we've had fun telling some shorty stories and talking about installs and fun things. Anybody got anything else to add? Anybody got something they want to say? Tonio, how about you? You haven't said much.
No.
Oh, no.
They're the ones.
All right, somebody here tell me an Antonio story real quick.
Oh man, he tells us all the time, but I can't think of one at the moment.
No, just tell me something about him in the office. Because, he's the most calm, cool, collective guy there is. Somebody tell me an Antonio story. Come on.
I think he's cool and calm until certain customers push his buttons, because you can tell. He'll say, whoa. I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, exactly.
So you could always tell when somebody's pushing buttons.
Well, because you guys are right next to each other, even though there's the wall and the window, but so you get that. I don't ever see you ruffle your feathers very often there, brother. We've been together a lot of years side by side. I don't,
Yeah.
Just recently, Doug is starting to write Antonio's quotes down.
Okay.
But
give me a quote. Come on, give us a quote.
There are a number of them.
What's
Okay.
that one, Doug? The one that the customer wanted measurements and you...
Standing in front of the machine, they wanted the measurement, and Antonio says, are you not standing in front of the machine? I am, but could you give me the measurements? And Antonio says, every once in a while, there are things you have to do yourself.
Yeah. That's a good quote. Every once in a while, there's things you have to do.
Or it's not rocket science.
Slow down to go faster. Slow down to go faster.
That's right, yes.
Ali Chapness interned with us, okay? And she would tell me, she'd come and goes, that Antonio, I don't know how he does it. I could just see he's the calmest guy I've ever seen. She loved you. She marveled at how you would take that call and she said you could see the face, but always calm and cool and collected.
And you can hear the same thing everywhere. They know Antonio. Same thing. Oh man. Thanks to Antonio, we fixed the machine. He's already calm. He's doing. The longer you listen to him, you're gonna fix your machine.
Well, yeah, that's it.
That's everybody say the same thing.
God, I can remember way back how many times you would tell somebody how to replace the valve, and they would put the valve upside down. We'd have to, Antonio or Shorty would have to fly out there. This is right when we got started. You know, switch it back around. It'd just be so, we back in the old days, that's how you dealt with it. You know, because we're demanding, you know, because we had the import, you know, we had no credibility. The only way to gain the credibility was you had to go do it. And I can't tell you how many times you had to go fix a directional valve or something that was installed upside down.
Yeah.
Just listen to Antonio, you'll get it fixed.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that the customers, they always tell us is you guys are always reliable. I mean, for instance, me and my cousin, you know, I came in Thursday morning and he's getting ready to go on that emergency job in Chicago. And I go in the morning and, hey, can you catch this flight with your cousin? You're going to go, you know, work on the cylinder. Well, let's do it right away, you know, and that's what makes customers feel good is that, you know, they can call us and, hey, can you get a guy out here? Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, there's just a small group of us. I mean, think about all the different people we got. We got Donnie, we got Jose's not here, Enrique's not here, Art Robles, I haven't seen him in a long time. And Arturo Mardigra, your dad's not here. Gilbert's not here. Of course, on the East Coast, you got Wayne and Rob and Jay now.
Joe Greco.
Joe Greco. And then, you know, Randy Hansen.
Randy Hansen, pretty smart guy.
And then Jaime. Has anybody worked with Jaime?
I have.
Yeah.
Jaime's learning too.
Oh yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, he knows. And so, you know, you know, there's Lindell has worked for us for years, you know, and then Herman down in Florida. You know, so, you know, we're just a small group today, you know, having a fun conversation about a lot of the things. And it's fun to be with you guys and share stories. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Hey, thanks for everything you guys do. All right.
Thank you.